I had to take my son to the pediatrician, but our pediatrician was on paternity leave, so a new pediatrician was coming in. And he walked in, and his last name is not the same as my last name. So I did not realize that I was going to be related to this person. And so we start talking, and we're talking about like the holidays, and he says something about how he has family from New York. And I was like, oh, my family's from New York originally. And he's like, oh, mine's from Brooklyn. And I'm like, Queens. So like, we're like, oh, funny. And then he recognized my last name and was like, I actually know Katz, who's a doctor. He's my cousin. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. And he's like, yeah, he's out in like Connecticut now. I'm like, oh yeah, no, my dad's in New York. And he's like, And then we were talking about Long Island, and I said something like, yeah, I got a lot of family out there. He's like, me too. And we're doing this like back and forth thing where we're talking in like code. And my husband has been listening to this for like 3 minutes, and he goes, why don't you just tell him who your dad is so you guys can stop doing this? And we both kind of giggled. And he's like, oh, yeah, my dad is this person. And he goes, yeah, that's my cousin. And I was like, oh, that's your cousin. We're related. He's like, yeah, we're related. And so we talked, and it's his grandma is my great grandma on my dad's side. So my dad's grandma and his dead grandma were sisters, one in Brooklyn, one in Queens. And we just started talking. We were laughing. I called my dad, and I was like, hey, I just met your cousin. And they went to medical school together. Like, they played in some like jazz ensemble or basketball team together. Like, they were very friendly when they were in medical school together, and they had not kept in touch. They didn't know where either person lived. You know, they're like, I think they're first cousins, right? So like, I'm second cousins with them. But yeah, he was my cousin, and we ended up inviting him to my daughter's birthday party, like, you know, whatever, 3 months later. We haven't really kept in touch, but it's also so like perfectly my family that we haven't kept in touch, because it's like, even though my dad could have kept in touch with this person, it's just like, you know, family's weird. You don't always keep in touch with anybody. But yeah, turns out he was my cousin. And then I really wanted him to be our pediatrician, obviously. And then he like retired. So then he isn't in the practice anymore, and we don't get to see him. But like, it was like amazing when he was our pediatrician for like only 2 years.